Hello and greetings from Udaipur. I'm in Old Town here with narrow streets, so you'll probably see some motorcycles and pedestrians going past. I started out this morning in Kota. Um, my um, my friend there was going to come with me to Udaipur, but he had something come up, so he had to stay behind and he sent me on ahead. But his dad paid for a driver to drive me the 5 hours here and shuttle me around town here. So that was helpful and very appreciative of that. Um, I'm glad I didn't have to drive in the cities. In between the cities, the highways were actually pretty good. Um, it was, for the most part, four-lane highways that were, for the most part, pretty well maintained. It seemed like the bridges were always bumpy with potholes, and the rest was pretty good. Of course, you drive on the left, so we were driving in the left two lanes, and the far left lane is the slow lane, and the right of the left two lanes is the passing lane. Um, but sometimes your driver prefers to just drive in the middle of the two lanes, especially if you're passing a motorcycle or a three-wheel auto rickshaw. Um, but yeah, so an American could drive on the highways. In town is a lot harder. But if you do drive on the highways, be prepared for anything on the left shoulder and the left lane. There might be someone stopping to take a leak just straight on the side of the road. There might be a motorcycle going the wrong way down the shoulder, which, if it's a motorcycle, no big deal, but it's a car sometimes. Once we saw a truck going the wrong way down the shoulder. I guess sometimes that's just easier than going up to the next place where you can cross the median. And then sometimes there's just little shops on the side of the road, um, just a dirt parking area and an open stall with no wall on the front. Somebody cooking something and serving chai. Um, but sometimes the cars and trucks just park in the left lane, and you have to go around them in the passing lane. There was one time we were in a 6-lane stretch of highway, and so we have our 3 lanes heading west, and 2 of them were blocked off by parked trucks, just a bunch of parked trucks at a truck stop. So that was interesting. Um, yeah, honking is something different. You've probably seen it in my videos or heard about it. If you're from India, you already know about it. But honking here just means I'm here, don't run into me. And it might mean I'm trying to pass you. It might mean you're trying to pass me and I don't think you have room. Or it might mean I'm coming around a blind corner and just want to make sure if anybody's there. So anyway, yeah, doesn't mean they're mad, but you'll hear a lot of it in the city and on the highway. The houses were also different. I was impressed, or surprised rather, by how many houses do not have sealed walls. Like, there's a doorway and no door. There's a window and no pane. Especially the poorer houses. There were some that looked like the roof wasn't quite complete, like it had fallen in and they'd replaced it with a tarp in some cases. Um, those were the worst houses. The better ones were cement construction in little villages. I know in an earlier video I mentioned the train ride from Delhi to Kota, how it seemed like the houses were clustered and they were all 3-storied, and suddenly you come up upon several together as a village and then nothing in between. I saw something different today where there's a lot more 1- and 2-story construction in the villages, um, and some houses on the outskirts of town or just outside of town. Um, I don't know if that's just because I was on the road instead of on the train track, or if it's a regional difference moving over like 100 or 200 miles. But anyway, let's see here. What else? There's some similarities. There are hotels along the road. The hotels didn't necessarily look the same, but they're hotels, and they'll be written out in English or Hindi. The gas stations looked almost the same. The trucks were more brightly colorful, and most of them on the back said, "Please honk," meaning if you're going around me, honk to let me know you're there. Guess that's kind of the equivalent of in America how we have a sign that says, "If you can't see my mirrors, you can't see me." But anyway, um, my driver does not speak English, so I've had to practice Hindi. Um, Otherwise, most of the people in the service industry here at the hotels and the restaurants speak enough English that you could come here without knowing English. um, the landscape between here and Kota was a lot of it was dry climate. Looked like something out of Arizona or Texas, or even African savanna or Australian bush, or other metaphors that came to mind. So some places pretty dry, just dusty ground with small trees. Some places it was agricultural with fields of green grass or yellow sesame flowers. Um, there were fences, just basic stone fences built to keep the cows out of the fields, and then also there were these kind of funny boxes, tall, thin boxes, all along the side of the road. It took me a few minutes to figure out what they were, um, but they're to protect new sapling trees from getting eaten by the stray cows. So anyway, I'll just create a new video for Udaipur and stop here about the drive between the two. But I would definitely say it helped me understand rural India better to get a drive between cities. And so if any of you ever visit India and you're not from India, I think it would be a really good thing if you can to get to take a road trip between the cities, and you'll learn more about rural India that way.